I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. Buy all of the things I never had. I wanna be on the cover of Forbes magazine, smiling next to Oprah and the Queen. Oh, every time
Welcome back to the Credit Cow Show on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS. I'm your host, Darbe Nokes, and I'm speaking to Mark Figearo.
You've got it right every time. I'm really proud of you.
Give me a high five. All right. SunPower by Green Convergence. And we have been talking about everything to do with solar today. And I've enjoyed it, and I've been educated, and I appreciate you sharing that. But will everybody be able to, that wants a solar system, be able to either purchase it or lease it if they have a low credit score? And so let's start with credit score requirements for leasing. I mean, is there a number there?
The SunPower lease, and they just dropped it. It was $700. And again, we talked in an earlier segment about the fact that as lenders get more and more savvy, they're realizing that
not a lot of people have that.
Well, in this, because of this economy, I mean, we just see people that would pay all their bills, but they had a rental house or different things, maybe lost a job for a time. And it's heartbreaking to see people that have always had good credit. I've had people just almost break down in tears. They're so shocked that because they've always had good credit.
It's embarrassing.
And it is. It's very embarrassing. And so SunPower lowered their FICO credit score down to 680, and you probably explain this better than I can, but people get a little confused because they go online, they see their consumer score has nothing to do with their FICO score, and people say, I'm at
No, I looked. I was at 750.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? There's so many different scoring models, but the FICO score is combined between three bureaus. TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And it's those three bureaus combined scores is your FICO score. Now, some lenders, and it just depends on who's doing the lending, some banks or lenders will use all three and they'll use the FICO. Sometimes even I just purchased an Audi and they call it a car score. So everybody, depending on, some mortgage lenders don't use the FICO. Maybe they use for pre-approval just one score from one. So when it comes to, it just depends on the lender and whether they're going to use the FICO or they're going to use a particular score from Equifax. They might have a 680 on Equifax, but they have a 730 overall FICO score. So that 680 score, well, that is an average score now because, the best score is an 850. Right. And what does that mean, that somebody can't purchase, or does it mean that they are going to pay a higher interest rate?
Well, again, we were talking the lease, and the lease is, and one thing that's nice about the lease is they don't look at debt to income, which you do with a loan. So a lease is strictly FICO. It's a quick online, in typically a minute or two. In a minute or two, you're qualified, you're not qualified.
Okay.
And I'm sure you'll talk about ways people can get their credit scores up because, that's one thing that we try to help people with.
Sure.
Because we'll have people that are 5 points under, and it doesn't take much.
What can I do? It doesn't, you know what? And it's just a couple points. And once again, we don't know what we don't know. So I always, number one, tell people to go to annualcreditreport.com. That's annualcreditreport.com because you need to take a look. Okay, you need to take a look. And 80% reported is inaccurate, 80. The three bureaus are $4 billion companies that pay hundreds and thousands of dollars in fines every year for reporting. So when I got my credit score, restored, I was a client in United Credit who I'm a vice president with. When I got my credit score restored, I had 6 things on my credit and 5 were not me, Mark. There was a Dodge truck. I've never owned a Dodge truck. There was an Old Navy credit card. I've never had one of those. So understand that you got to look. Be responsible and look. And before you call up SunPower by Green Convergence, which I'm sure after today and all the wonderful information we give you, you're going to do that. And before you do that, you could go online to annualcreditreport.com and take a look. Now, if there's things on there that are not you or your score's not where you want it to be, obviously you can contact me and we can go over that and I can give you a free credit review. But some of the things that you could do like now to better your credit score, the number one thing that raises your credit score the fastest is really looking at your income to debt ratio on your credit cards. It's one of the easiest because it's 65% of your score is your revolving credit and your debt ratio. So if you could go to your credit cards and look and say you have a $5,000 limit and you have a $5,000 on there, then you could lower that to 30% of it, Mark. That is going to raise your score sometimes by 20, 30, 40 points, just one credit card.
I learned that the hard way because I do a lot of buying online. I'm busy. I don't have the time to shop, so I buy online.
That's
great.
So
I was using a very low limit credit card just in case somebody got the number.
Okay, that's
and it was penalizing me because even though I was paying it off every month, I was charging up close to the limit. So I had to take the chance and go to a higher limit credit card. So I never was. But common sense, and people would think, let's use that lower limit card so I don't get
common
fraud.
sense isn't always so common, Mark.
Exactly.
And I think that we just need to understand that you need to keep that debt ratio down. So that's number one. Number two is somebody pretty quickly wants to put points on their credit score. I always talk about the secured card. And a secured card is something that you can get at your bank. You can go online, the top 3 secured cards. And it's basically like putting a savings account, putting money into a savings account. But you get a credit card and you can purchase items on there, pay it down to 30% of the limit. You don't have to get a $1,000 limit. You can get a $300 limit, pay for your gas or your groceries. But you need to pay that bill on time each month. Make sure when you're buying a big purchase, like a solar system, which is a very large investment, not money-wise necessarily, but you know what I mean? It's a very important investment for many reasons, right? That you make sure you take a look at your credit score. So when we're talking, also we talked about leasing. So now let's talk about purchasing.
Okay,
and your credit score when it comes to purchasing.
We have a great program. It's 12 years, 2.99% financing.
12 years, 2.99.
Yeah, it's killer. Wow. But it takes a 750 FICO, which a lot of people don't have today. No. But we have other loan products that will go down to around a 660 FICO score. Of course, you're paying higher interest, the lower your credit score. The lower your credit score, you're getting penalized for that. So definitely one of the first steps, if you're thinking about today, calling it SunPower, take a look at your credit score on annualcreditreport.com, see what it is. Let's get you in the best possible place. Exactly.
Because you want that too, right, Mark?
Yeah.
I mean, you want every client not only to be satisfied with, your installation and your customer service and what SunPower and Green Convergence is about, but also that you've served them, the best way you can in all areas.
Exactly.
Right? All areas. Well, it has just been too much fun today. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, and Mark Figearo with SunPower by Green Convergence. We had a lot of fun today.
It was great.
A lot of information, and I guess I'm told we have another segment. So we're just going to break now.
Hey,
so
okay,
Mark, we get to talk more about solar.
Sounds
good. So we'll be right back. Thank you so much for listening to KHTS AM hometown station.